Alright, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and it is time to review Scream 3. I am a few days late, so I hope that you all had a good Halloween, and let's get on with the rest of the Scream quadrilogy. Okay, so Scream 3 is the worst of the bunch. Not to say that it's horrible, it's just very mediocre. This is kind of what I normally expect from horror movies. When I watch a movie, I never go in thinking that it's going to be amazing. There are very few amazing movies in the world in any genre. Horror movies aren't really my cup of tea. It's really hard to explain because I like watching horror movies and I can rewatch them over and over again, but they're never really offering me a lot. Like it's not going to be like a Memento. It's not going to be 12 Angry Men. It's not going to be like an Oscar movie or a movie that makes you think. It's not going to be a Seven. I like thriller movies a lot more because I don't care for gore. I don't care for being jump scared. I like being creeped out to an extent, but more so in a thriller manner, as in like there's a serial killer out there and you don't know where he's going to be or who he's going to strike. That kind of stuff I like. But anyway, horror movies I do like rewatching a lot, and this is just an okay movie. There's still some positives to it. I like that the characters just constantly evolve. Like the Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox are just always cool with each other. I think they hug when they see each other, and you can see that the bond there is that they actually care for each other. I like that. It's a really nice transition from each Scream installment. David Arquette once again is pretty good, although he's not limping as much as he was in the second one, and that's kind of weird. Like he still limps, but not as much as he did. It's kind of like they weren't caring as much for this. Kind of like they jumped the shark, and also, what I kind of like about it is because that they are also doing at the same time Stab 3. So in Scream 2, they introduced that they were doing movies on the storyline from Scream inside the movie, and now they're at Stab 3, and it feels like Stab 3 is just kind of like put together because it's a Hollywood thing, which is exactly what Hollywood would do. And Scream 3 is the proof of it. And pretty much every horror genre. I mean, they even made a Scream 4. We'll get to that soon. But what I liked about this was that I feel that there was more potential for what this movie could have been. I think that it would have been really funny having all the characters together. So the guy that plays Dewey, is his name Dewey or Stewie? I always forget. David Arquette. It's because a Scary Movie ruins that because they changed the name. Anyway, I think his name's Dewey. I think that it would have been really cool to have him being with the guy that's playing him, Neve Campbell's character being together. They kind of did it with Courtney Cox and the girl that was playing her, and they kind of worked together at some points. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was because it was a little bit over the top, like when they're sneaking around and popping. It's just like, you're going a little bit too corny and cheesy now. But I always felt that there was more that they could have done with this. I do like that they're kind of going by a script of how things go. For what's going to happen in like what happens in Stab 3, the script kind of transitions into what's actually happening in the real world in Scream. So I like that. But I felt that everything was kind of just jumbled together. And the twist at the end, if you could call it a twist, is kind of good, but they kind of set it up that it's going to happen. Kind of. Like, they bring back a character, and I like the way that they brought a character back to explain something about what happens in trilogies. And then it happens, and generally the endings of Screams I like, but this one was, it's just, there's something missing throughout this entire movie. There's no, like, I don't know, heart to it like the first two movies. The first two movies, everyone was really doing a good job, and I liked the locations. And I think, I don't know, maybe Scream just has to do with school. Like the first one's in high school, then it's college and university, and now they're just in a Hollywood studio. And there's just missed potential, I guess, and it just didn't feel right. But still an okay movie. I'm probably going to give it a 5 out of 10. It's what I kind of expect from horror movies most of the time. So it's still worth a watch, but definitely not the best Scream movie. So, we only have one more Scream movie to do, and I cannot wait to review that. I haven't watched Scream 4 since it first came out, and I won't spoil anything, but it should be a good review. So, thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage!